Happy Thursday to you. Well, beautiful people, another day that the God has made or the Lord has sent. If you believe in Almighty God, I'm not a Christian, so I am not putting any religion on anyone, but whoever you pray to, that's on you, right? But nevertheless, guys, I hope your week has been great so far. Happy Thursday. It's almost Friday, almost freaking weekend. Not only that, guys, we have to give thanks for the little that we have because a lot of people out here are homeless. A lot of people don't have food to eat. A lot of people are going through war, famine, and the list go on. So when you have a life that you could get up and say, good morning, world, it's a beautiful day. Good morning, Thursday, and good morning, you all. Bring you to this day, this morning, with a sad content, so to speak. But nevertheless, let's unpack our content greatly and deeply. Now, guys, just imagine that someone promised you peace, someone promised you love, someone promised you a great life, and you travel all the way from Trinidad to stay with your lover, and you end up in body bags, basically. End up in your head here, your feet here, your torso here, and the list go on. Just imagine that you leave your family, your loved ones, to go and live with a stranger that you claim that you're in love with, that you thought you were in love with. So this husband is 75-year-old, and his girlfriend is much younger, in her 30s, and found love basically with each other, and met in Trinidad, and she ended up going to New York, married to this man, and within the space of 2 years, guys, she was found in a body bag. So they always say, eat with me, dine with me, come on vacation with me, talk to me on a phone every day. Is 3 to 4 different things than coming to live with me permanently. Be mindful when it comes to these long distance relationship, how they wine you in, draw you in, dine you in, and then when you come to live with them, it's a different ball game in their country. When you have no one, no loved one surrounds you, when you have typical strangers surround you, including your loved one. Remember, you can eat with someone, drink with someone, talk to someone on the phone, fall in love with someone on the phone, but coming to live with someone in permanent, that's when you're going to see their true colors. So this long distance relationship, yeah, everyone say that stuff work out, but at times long distance relationship, it's not a goal, because here we are, a Trinidadian girl met this 74-year-old man from New York, claimed that she was in a long distance relationship, wanted the relationship to be nice, wanted the relationship to be husband and wife, left her loved one in Trinidad, end up come all the way to New York, and her body was found in pieces. Head here, torso here, hands here, feet here. Her mom is all the way in Trinidad grieving, so we had to come and unpack the story. Imagine you're 74 years old and you're going to do life in prison for dismembered, chopped up your loved one that you not too long met. Okay, she not too long came to New York, left her family, left her children in Trinidad to come and live with this 74-year-old man, and didn't know that this man was almost a monster. Didn't know that this man will cut you up. Didn't know that this man had the ego of a 74-year-old heart to be barbaric and savage. This one take me out, guy. This one is like bonkers. This one is like, oh my God, dude. Why would you chop up your wife at the age of 74 years old and now go into prison? We also want to shout allegedly. Remember, everybody's innocent until proven guilty in court. But nevertheless, you hear the story over here, so let's unpack greatly. 74-year-old allegedly murdered and dismembered young wife dump remains in Queen Woods. So her body parts was found somewhere in some kind of Jamaica place where they call in New York somewhere. All right. So let's unpack. A 75-year-old man was arrested after he murdered his much younger wife, then dismembered her body and dumped the remains in different parts of Queens, according to the district attorney. So like I said, torso was here, head was here, feet was here, and everything. He chopped her up like a piece of meat. Let her heart rest in peace. No joke. I am not even making fun of this situation. He chopped her up like she was like a piece of wood and tossed her out like garbage. Seriously. Remember where she's coming from? all the way from Trinidad. Remember where they met? In Trinidad. Remember what I said? He promised her, come to New York, my lover. I love you. Let's spend the rest of our life together. I love you. I want you to be my wife. Within 2 years, she was dead. Dead, chopped up in pieces. So like I'm going to shout before I get into the story some more. Eat with me. Dine with me. Fall asleep with me on the phone. Telling you love me every day. It's not the same thing or same things as coming to live with people permanently. People can wine and dine you on the phone. You can have a long distance relationship. Man come and look about you in Trinidad for 2 weeks. Man send money through Western Union or whatever app. He sends the money. Oh baby girl, I love you, I love you, I love you. But look at the age gap. 74 to 33 or 34 years old. 33, because the wife Salisha, Ali, was 33 years old. So like I said, a man who's 74 is way experienced. A 75 is way experienced, a little bit controlling because they're up on their age. And certain things you're going to do will be a no-no. And certain things you do will be an irritation for this man. Nevertheless, you have 75-year-old men that compose their anger, compose their ratchetness and their savageness, okay? And don't bestow this wickedness upon everyone like this, all right? Good morning. Hi, good morning. LKH, good morning, and good morning, Joshua. Thank you for tuning in. Guys, at times you guys will say good morning, but I don't watch the comment section. And to be honest, it's not a disrespecting thing, but a lot of times no one taught. They just come and listen. So I just hammer away the content, so to speak. All right? So if you guys can come on in, like Joshua said, thumbs up the live, that would be great. You guys will share me out to the other rhythm. And just forget that our channel is growing. So if you want the channel to be bigger, please help me to help you get more audience. So big up on a nice clean self on this Thursday. Okay? Thursday, almost Friday. All right? So let's unpack. A 75-year-old man was arrested after he murdered his much younger wife, then dismembered her body and dumped the remains in different parts of Queens, according to the district attorney. All right? Ramchan Simbu was charged, all right? So he was charged with second-degree murder, 2 counts of concealment of a human corpse, and an evidence tampering in connection with the killing of his 33-year-old wife, Salisha Ali. Queens DA Melinda Katz said Thursday Simbu was arrested Wednesday. So Wednesday gone, oh, Wednesday, and later arraigned in Queens Criminal Court. According to the charges and investigation, Simbu and Ali were together at the South Ozone Park home on July 13th, 2025. She never showed up for work on her job in Brooklyn the next day. However, she would never be heard from her or seen alive again. Remember, he also went to go tell her family that she was leaving, that she left, and she doesn't want to speak to anyone. And Salisha's mother also advised the creep to report her missing. So here you are, killed the wife, chop her up, and still had a brave heart to go and report her missing. Let's continue, all right? According to the charges and investigation, Simbu and Ali were together, like I said, at the Ozone Park home, all right? Nobody heard from her. Nobody seen her alive again. About a week later, on July 19th, Ali's mother requested Simbu report her daughter missing, which he did. Remember, guys, it took a while, for the police to lock him up. The police never locked him up right away. It took 6 months later on Wednesday for the police to lock him up. That's why I'm bringing this story across to you now. About a week later, okay, July 19th, like I said, Alicia's mom, okay, or Salisha's mother requested Simbu, the husband, to report her daughter missing when he did. It would be 2 months before any major developments in the case around 7 a.m. on September, 2 city sanitation, that's when they found her body. Department workers spotted a blue moving blanket wrapped with yellow rope around what appeared to be a large object in a patch of woods off near 149th Avenue and Brookville Boulevard in the Rosedale neighborhood. When the workers opened the blanket, they found what appeared to be a woman decomposed torso, the investigation found. It was later determined that the remains belonged to, okay, Salisha. Oh man, a.k.a. Ali. A search warrant was issued for Simbu's home, the husband, where investigators recovered plastic wrap and yellow rope, which an NYPD lab determined was consistent with the rope used to bind Ali's torso. A second search found a moving blanket in Simbu's garage that was identical to the one wrapped around the remains. Cover up the crime and court proceeding in the tri-state. All right, let's proceed. Nearly 6 months later, like I said, remember, they never locked him up right away. They thought this girl was missing. Remember, this girl came to New York, okay, not too long, to her 75-year-old husband. His mom, he told his mom that she went away. She doesn't want to talk to anyone. Mom advised him all the way from Trinidad, please report my daughter missing. He reported the daughter missing, throw the investigation off. 6 months later, this man was locked up. Hope you're following me. Nearly 6 months later, more remains included head, legs, and arm. Like I said, he chopped up his wife. So torso was found east, legs was found at west, and the list go on, people. Disturbing and troubling. Okay? He chopped her up and threw out her body parts like garbage, like trash. All right? Like how you throw out something that you don't want. All right? All over the place. Because remember, the sanitation worker only found her torso. Then the head was found, okay, and the legs and the arms was found somewhere else. How disturbing, how troubling. All right? Nearly 6 months later, more remains, included head, legs, and arm, were discovered in the Jamaica Wildlife Refuge of Cross Bay Boulevard, south of North Channel Bridge. According to the investigation, the medical examiner found those were also of Alicia, or Salisha, aka Ali. The search of the wildlife refuge came as a result of Simbu's GPS, dummy of the day, coordinates for the Life 360 app on his phone. Data from the app show he had been there on July 14th, the day after Ali had been seen alive. The app also showed that on the following day, he had been at the Rosedale location where her torso was later found. So this man is brave for an old man. All right? For an old man. Domestic abuse is never okay. Let me shout that out. Kat said Simbu went to extraordinary lengths to evade responsibility for the brutal killing of his wife, discarding her remains in remote locations and concealing critical evidence in a apparent effort to cover this horrific crime. Remember, he reported her missing. Throw off the detectives. Remember that. She also commented the diligence of the New York City sanitation workers for making the discovery. Because, sanitation worker, they have to do a lot. So sometimes they maybe say, sure, not going to even look in that bag. Sure, I'm not even going to waste my time. Kiss teeth and pass, I'm not even going to bother. Good thing that they looked in the bag and found her torso. Let's continue, all right? So she also commended diligence of the New York sanitation workers for making the discovery and notifying police, because without that, the victim loved ones still be searching for answers about her disappearance. All right? Remember, the bastard husband report her missing. Simbu was also remanded and his arraignment and his next scheduled for appear in court on March 16th, which not too long passed, right? If convicted, he faces 25 years to life in prison. Attorney information for Simbu was not immediately available. All right? Moving on, keep on going, moving on. All right, guys? So that was the story. The story was rather short, okay? Like I said, I try not to bring a drawn-out story every day to give you guys, because at the end of the day, I have the audio and I have other topics to insert in the content. So please be patient. Please be patient. Have some patience and give me some time to get to the audio. So now we're going to get to the audio, guys. All right? So let's get to the audio quick and fast. All right? And then we're going to finish unpack the story. Okay? So let's get to the audio. So I want to get to the audio. Sorry, guys. Let me just get back into my thing here and I'll find the audio for you guys. All right? So let's get to the audio quick and fast. All right? Sorry about the delay.
For months, neighbors have been haunted by what happened to the young woman who lived in this house with her husband.
Anything that you noticed that was sort of alarming about their relationship?
No, not really. They will sit outside on the porch in the summertime. Sometimes we see them having a beer and like just hanging out, playing music. But otherwise than that, they seem normal to me.
What happened to 34-year-old Salisha Ali is anything but normal. Her head was discovered in the Jamaica Wildlife Refuge in Broad Channel last Thursday. The rest of her body stuffed in a garbage bag, found by sanitation workers in another part of Queens back in September. Hasina had no idea she was living across the street from a killer, but she started to wonder.
When we gather a little bit of information of what happened, we were like, okay, this guy is scary. But then for a while, everything went silent. And we saw him living his life as normal, so we just thought that maybe he wasn't found guilty.
75-year-old Rupchand Simbu went on living his life as usual until today, when he was arrested and charged with the murder of his wife. Ali met him in Trinidad in 2023. She moved to Queens with him a year later to get married. Police sources say the 75-year-old was the 34-year-old's immigration sponsor. He was the one who reported her missing in July. Detectives now believe to throw them off.
As we know him, he's a quiet man. Quiet man.
Relatives of the husband now charged with murder showed up to the house tonight. They did not want to offer a comment, but one of them did say they have just as many questions as we do. Hasina feels somewhat relieved tonight.
Well, yes, that he's not just, I have a young daughter and, trying to raise a family here, and you don't want to live across from someone as dangerous as him.
Exactly how Miss Ali was killed is still under investigation. In South Ozone Park, Anthony Carlo, Channel 7.
So could you imagine? So here you are, her sponsor, and here you are, you dismember her and chop her up because a new immigrant in America, nobody will report her missing other than you. And when you report her missing, the police will just go away because maybe the police will think that she went back to Trinidad somewhere. Could you imagine your own sponsor or your husband chop you up in pieces, head here, legs here, feet here? Could you imagine? No. Let's continue with the next story.
At 11 o'clock, I'm Mike Morrison.
And I'm Sade Bitter-and-Wall. We begin tonight with this Eyewitness News exclusive and reporter Anthony Carlo.
I just see like my
That's the
life
mother,
ended.
victim's mom.
The pain palpable from thousands of miles away. Paula Sakea speaking with us exclusively tonight from Trinidad about her daughter, 33-year-old Salisha Ali.
It was a regular Tuesday morning in Queens. Sanitation workers were doing their rounds, picking up trash, moving on to the next block. Nothing unusual. Then one of them caught a smell. And let me tell you something. That smell stopped everything. Inside a garbage bag on the side of the road near Idlewild Park was a human torso. No head, no arms, no legs, just a torso, wrapped up and left like it was nothing. And somewhere in Trinidad, a mother had been waiting 4 months for her daughter to call her back. You're watching Shadowed Crimes.
Okay, guys.
TV. We tell the stories that need to be
So
told.
it's
Domestic violence, toxic relationships,
it's
and
troubling.
do. In 2023, a man named Rupchand had her eyes fixed on something better for all of them.
Those are her 3
That
kids.
is not a crime. That is just a mother doing what mothers do. In 2023, a man named Rupchand Simbu came through Trinidad on a visit. He was 75 years old. Salisha was 34. That is a 41-year gap.
My God.
Now, nobody here is trying to tell grown people how to live. But when Salisha's mother, Paula Zakaria, found out her daughter was getting serious with this man, she did not hold back. She told her daughter exactly what was on her mind.
I told her, I said that he could be your grandfather. And she said, it's not a marriage like that. He's just trying to help me and the kids.
And Salisha's response? He's just trying to help me and the kids. That right there tells you everything about where Salisha's head was.
So she was
She
all
was
about
not
the papers.
chasing romance. She was chasing stability. She had 3 children depending on her,
Documents.
and this man was offering her something real. Path to the United States, a home in Queens, New York. He was going to be her immigration sponsor. He was the one opening a door she had been looking for. So in 2024, Salisha packed her bags, said goodbye to Trinidad, and moved to South Ozone Park, Queens. They got married, and from the outside, the picture looked like a regular couple making it work.
Look like father and
Neighbors
daughter
would
to
see
me,
them on the
grandfather
porch
and
in the
granddaughter.
summertime, having a beer, playing music, just hanging out. Nothing alarming, nothing that made anyone stop and stare. Moving on, because what was happening inside that house told a completely different story. It did not take long. Within months of arriving in America, Salisha was calling her mother back in Trinidad. And what she was describing was not the life she had been promised.
Well, obviously not.
Rupchand was controlling.
I see it.
He was monitoring her movements, deciding where she could go and who she could see. Don't go here. Don't go there. He told her not to work. Just stay home. Be a housewife. Ain't gonna lie. For a woman who crossed an ocean looking for a better life, that had to hit different. And Salisha was not quiet about it. She told her mother exactly how she felt. I did not come up here to be a housewife. Think about the weight of that sentence. She left her 3 children in Trinidad. She married a man 4 decades older than her. She gave up everything familiar, her family, her community, her country, on the promise of something more. And now she was being kept inside a house, cut off from independence, cut off from the ability to build anything of her own. Come to think of it, that is how control works before it turns into something worse. It starts with where you can go. Then it becomes who you can talk to.
Yep.
Then your whole world shrinks down until the only person left standing in it is the one who built the walls.
Yep.
Paula Zachariah could hear it in her daughter's voice from thousands of miles away. And there was nothing she could do but stay on
That's
the
the
phone
victim's
and hope
mom.
Salisha found her way out. She never did. The last time anyone confirmed Salisha Ali was alive was a FaceTime call with a relative on July 13th. One call, and then silence. Now here's the part that will stay with you. On that same day, the exact same day Salisha was last seen alive, Rupchand Simbu walked into a Queens police precinct and filed
report
a
her
missing
missing.
persons
What
report
a
on his
wicked
wife.
man.
Make it make sense. He did not go searching the streets. He did not call her family in Trinidad. He walked calmly into a police station and reported her missing on the very day she disappeared. Detectives later concluded that filing that report was his way of pointing the finger somewhere else before anyone even knew there was a finger to point.
Keep on listening.
And for a while, it worked.
Janos.
July turned to August.
Yep.
August turned to September. And Rupchand Simbu went right on living in that South Ozone Park house like his whole world was completely intact.
Keep on listening.
Meanwhile, Paula Zachariah was calling, texting,
looking for her daughter.
reaching out every way she knew how.
And looking for
And
her
the
daughter.
answers she kept getting were not from her daughter. They were from him. He told the family Salisha had moved out.
Yep.
Said she was cutting everyone off. Wanted nothing to do with any of them. I was believing everything he was saying, Paula later told reporters.
So I don't need to drag out the story, do I? So this is a sick man. Sick man. A sick man. Chopped up his wife and thought it was a good look. And thought that police, he wouldn't be caught up when it comes to the police. And nobody would have knew that he chopped up the wife. Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
A 75-year-old Queens man has been charged with murdering his 34-year-old Guyanese wife after her decomposed body parts.
She's Trinidadian, she's not Guyanese.
Over a 6-month period, authorities said. Rupchand Simbu was arrested Wednesday and charged with murder in the death of his wife, Salisha Ali, whose remains were first found in September 2025.
People, he was just charged this Wednesday.
Discovered skeletal remains inside a garbage bag near 149th Avenue and Brooksville Boulevard in New York at around 7 a.m. on September 22, police said. 6 months later, on March 5, the victim's head was found at the Jamaica Bay Wildlife Refuge in Springfield Gardens at approximately 10:30 p.m., according to police and sources. The medical examiner ruled the incident a homicide in January, though details about when and how Ali, originally from Guyana, was killed remains unclear. In addition to the murder
She's from
charge,
Trinidad.
Simbu faces charges of obstructing governmental administration and 2 counts of tampering with physical evidence. His arraignment was pending Wednesday. Authorities have not released further details.
Look at this old bastard.
And the investigation remains ongoing.
Look at the young girl.
Case has shook the Queen's community, with neighbors expressing disbelief in the severity of the crime and the gruesome nature of the discovery. Authorities said the case unfolded in a series of chilling discoveries. On September 22, 2025, Department of Sanitation workers found Ali's skeletal remains inside a garbage bag near 149th Avenue and Brooksville Boulevard in Queens at around 7 a.m., prompting the start of the investigation. In January 2026, the city's medical examiner officially ruled her death as a homicide, though details about how and when she was killed remain unclear. Then, 6 months after the initial discovery, on March 5, 2026, Ali's head was found at the Jamaica Bay Wildlife Refuge in Springfield Gardens at approximately 10:30 p.m., intensifying the search for the suspect. Colin Abrams, Guyana TV News.
Okay. So like I said, so this is a woman. Keep on telling her mom, I'm not here for romance. I'm basically here because he's going to help me and my children. Just picture yourself in Trinidad or any third world country where it's hard and it's rough and you have 3 mouths to feed and you decide to fall in love. Not in love with the man basically, but fall in love to get the documents. As you hear from her mother, I'm not making up stories. As you hear from her mom said when she found out that she was getting serious with this 75-year-old man, the mom said, this man could be your grandfather, child. Girl, the bacchanal. This man could be your grandfather. And she said, Mom, this is not about romance. He's about to help me and the girls. So I guess when she get her documents, she was going to sponsor her girls, right? They were living in the home. We get to understand allegedly that the old man was controlling, which you would know that he's controlling because he's 74 and she's like 34 or 33. He will be controlling, right? He insists that she shouldn't be going to work and stuff like that. But we get to understand that she never showed up to work. So obviously she had a job. So some of the information is misinformation the way I see it. We're all going to say allegedly, although we know he's a bastard. Although in our mind we think he's a killer. But you never know until he was found guilty in court. So we're going to say allegedly because everybody is innocent until proven guilty in court. So when it comes to our channel, we always have to do a diligent duty of always remember allegedly, and always remember that people are innocent until they're proven guilty. No matter how bizarre, how sick, how disturbing most of these cases that I bring to you are. Okay, guys? So just imagine you leave your loved ones from Trinidad to go and live with this old man, 75-year-old man. And when you think about it, it's not what he been telling you in your ears. It's not what you guys been discussing on the phone. He ended up chop her up in a space of not even 3 years. Chop her up, torso here, feet here, head here, and the list go on. It was a sanitations worker stumble upon this tarp, opened the bag, and found out it was Salisha torso. All right? This bastard basically chop her up. Head over there, feet is there, legs are there. Head are there, hands are there. You know, I'm just being sarcastic at this point. Her head was found somewhere else. Her torso was found somewhere else. Okay? Feet was found somewhere else and hands were found somewhere else. Not only that, the bastard went to go report her to the police station. My newlywed went missing, to throw off the investigation. And if you're an immigrant in New York and you're new, And a lot of times back in the days when you tell the police that the person is missing, police maybe think automatically that she went back to Trinidad. Never know that the sanitation worker was going to stumble upon this blue tarp, open it and found out, and look in it and found that it was Salisha Torso, this beautiful girl. All right? So she's dead, head elsewhere, feet somewhere else, and hands somewhere else. Not only that, the bastard went to go and report her to the police and say, my wife is missing. She's dead. He was locked up Wednesday. Okay? And we're here to unpack the story like now. Okay, guys? So for 6 months, people was wondering what happened to the wife. For 4 months, her mother kept on calling. Where's my Salisha? Salisha, are you there? Salisha, 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 Salisha. No Salisha, because she was chopped up like a piece of meat. Head over there, body parts over there, and elsewhere, as you can see in this blue tarp. So this was troubling and disturbing. So like they say, a lot of people are looking for love. A lot of people are looking for documents. I'm assuming that she was honest with him that it's love she's looking for or documents. And as a 75-year-old man with a 33-year-old woman, what love are you really looking for? You think that would really pen out and work out in this day and age when a lot of people love from the head, not from the heart? So at the end of the day, we're going to see what happened to the bastard. We're going to see if he's going to get life in prison. We're going to be on this case like hot rice. So we're going to be on this case like nothing, guys. So when I get an update on this case, I will come packing and say, guys, remember that story that I spoke to you guys about the other day? This is the outcome. All right, guys? So stay tuned when it comes to Salisha. Let her heart rest in peace. Came from Trinidad, married to this 75-year-old man. This man never even took a second step, take another thought. He ended up chopped up her body, head here, torso here, feet here, hands here, and we end up in a murder charge. Not only that, guys, he reported her missing. And she wasn't missing. She was dead in the woods somewhere. Okay, guys? So just remember that this is the perpetrator. This is the victim. And domestic abuse is never okay. All right, guys? So at the end of the day, I just had to shout that out from the ballpark. All right, guys? Let's move on and talk about some other things. All right? Now, there's a lot of things happening. And we want to talk about Miss Crockett. Her guard was in a SWAT team situation. All right? And he ended up dead. We found out that her security guard, imagine that you're a big woman like this. You guys know who this lady is. You guys imagine that you're a big woman like this. And your security guard background is full of criminal record. Not only that, had a problem with the police basically and had a standoff with the SWAT and end up dead. All right? Allegedly, I would say. So I'm gonna get into the in the content some more. Okay? And then we're gonna get to the audio of that, what I'm talking about now. All right? So 1 second. So let's get to that part here, okay? So Crockett's security guard shot dead by the SWAT, all right? So let's get into that. Imagine you're a big woman.
And check this out now. This is a bit of a stunner, a violent
Right here.
deadly outcome for a member of Jasmine Crockett's team. A member of her security detail shot to death.
Remember, she's almost like the congresswoman. Oh, Judge.
Details,
If you know who she is.
down now in Texas. Brooke, what happened?
Hi, Bill. That's right. Sources say this longtime security guard of Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett was killed in a SWAT standoff here in Dallas earlier this week. So sources say that he was under investigation for impersonating a police officer. On Thursday, officers followed him into a parking garage where police say he barricaded himself in his car before he was forced out by tear gas and then pulled a gun on officers.
So you're the congresswoman security guard and you're out here impersonating a police officer? And this man was full of charges. Like he had a whole criminal record full, like how you would have your handbag full. Or how you would have your wallet full. Full like how your backpack would full with all the snacks, all the goodies that you're bringing along with you on your persons, to be honest. So how come Congresswoman security guard was this ratchet? But nevertheless, let's continue.
Sources say the man, 39-year-old Diamond Mazaire Robinson, went by the alias Mike King. He had a lengthy rap sheet with arrests as far back as 2010. He's been in and out of jail for theft charges and violating probation.
You're there.
Raising questions about how he was able to obtain this high-level security position for a sitting member of Congress. Now, on the
So they never did a background check? When you have all of these felony, are you allowed to go and get a security guard certificate? I am not sure. So here go Congresswoman out here every day shouting. And in her background, security guard is filthy with criminal records and had it out with the SWAT. Congresswoman, can you please come and answer? Did you do a background check on your security guard? Oh no. Let's continue. I guess a lot of people nowadays days are not doing any background check when it comes to their safety. Let's continue.
Election night right here, King was seen by Congresswoman Crockett's side.
See him right there?
She lost the Democratic nomination for the Texas Senate seat to State Representative James Talon.
Look at security guard. Look at this.
Officials also say that he was running a side business where he was placing officers in off-duty jobs and was also driving in this replica undercover police car. We've reached out to Crockett's office to comment on all of this, but we have not heard back, Bill.
Wow. Okay, more to come on that.
So is it because he was driving the replica police car, they say he was impersonating an officer? I'm lost somewhere, but what can I say? So now you guys know that people, he's dead like a dog, had a standoff with the SWAT and end up dead. The Congresswoman security guard who had a rap sheet. So I want to know who hired this man around the Congresswoman saying he could be a security guard and he full of criminal record. So be mindful who the people that you out here hiring to guard you, because at the end of the day, you will never know. So we didn't even know that this man, Congresswoman, security guard right here, has felony and had a shootout or standoff with the cops and end up dead. Crockett security guard shot dead during SWAT standoff. Congresswoman, it's not a good look the way we see it. Nevertheless, guys, let's get into some other things and I'm going to wrap up this live quick and fast, all right? Let's talk about some other things, all right? Where am I? Okay. Let's talk about some other things, all right? So we want to talk about here, okay? Today in history, Michael Jordan becomes the first ex-player to become a majority owner in the NBA. Clap it out. Because nowadays days, people are not making those big moves. All right? So history, Michael Jordan, all right, made history, okay, of being the first player, ex-player, okay, majority, all right, in the NBA. Is that a good look? I'm assuming. Remember Michael Jordan the other day, right? Okay, remember the other day, right? He had a problem with NASCAR. Remember I came and told you, and they sided with him. So with all of these major stuff happening, guys, it's a good look for Michael Jordan. Although in the past, Michael Jordan did come out and say he never made Jordans for poor children when a lot of kids were getting hurt of trying to get those Jordan. Remember that? And the whole black community came out and beat him senselessly. All right? Seems like he's making moves. Like what everybody's saying, probably making moves. But at the end of the day, guys, if you care about the NBA, is this a good look? I'm assuming. I am not sure. All right? Moving on, moving on. Let's talk about something else. And stuff like that. Let me talk about some other things and I'm gonna wrap up this live. Okay, give me a second. 1 second, let me get in here because sometimes you're pressing some stuff and you put some stuff up that you don't want to show on the screen. All right, from there, we want to talk about Miss Baywatch for a second time in charges for freeing animals during animal rights protests. So if you guys know, Miss Baywatch is out here. Baywatch actress Alexandra Paul was arrested for alleged trespassing at the Ridge Glen farms in Blue Mounds on March 15th, recent. She was arrested alongside approximately 20 people who were removing numerous beagles from the facility. So she was basically freeing the animals. Let out the animals, please. Let them go free, please. Okay, so they charge her again, the Baywatch lady. You know the Baywatch lady in her good bathing suit, and she's running to save everyone. Well, right now, okay, girl is locked up for freeing the animals. You think they should be holding these animals in captive all the time? And the meat that you guys eating, do you think it's rightfully that they put those chicken on gas to kill them before you consume them? I am not sure, people. I'm just shouting it out loud that she was arrested for freeing the animals. Run free as you can. Seriously. From there, guys, I think I have a few more things that I want to talk about. And I'm going to be like, guys, thank you for stopping by. It's a pleasure as always. All right. But that's a that and that a that. Right. Okay. Let's talk about some other things. Right. So the other day I came and I spoke to you guys about, actually, before we get there, we want to get to from 2006, Coretta Scott King, a civil icon, dies, okay, at 78. So not too long, first known as wife of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, she later became an avid, okay? Right now she passed away, guys, and we had to come and shout that out real out because these are great ones. We're not going to see them anymore. People are really not going to talk about them anymore unless you're going to talk about your black history, because as you guys know, every day our history has rewrite itself. All right. When we used to look up on the internet and found Black Panther as in Tupac mom and every other leader, now when we look up there and find Black Panther, we seeing the rewrite of the movie Black Panther. We're not seeing none of the old Black Panther fighters back then who brought snacks in the schools, who start certain programs where these people now take over and talk about, oh, well, the kids them can't learn at school without any snack program or any lunch program, and never come out here and say, well, that came from the Black Panthers, Tupac mother, and some other people that was in that in that group of members of people. So at the end of the day, now the reason why I'm shouting this out, because a lot of times our history has rewrite. So nowadays days, most of our history are going to be rewritten, or we're not going to see it anymore. Because remember, nowadays days, the truth is out here, but the truth is out here to be hidden so we can't see. Most of the time, they like to put a wool over our eyes. But if you have eyes to see, then let it see. Ears to hear, let it hear. Mouth to shout, let me shout. She had passed away, a great icon. So we have to shout. Moving on quick and fast. Now, remember the other day I came and I spoke to you guys about the cannabis, and I said to you guys that Snoop Doggy Dogg was trying to trademark his slang, smoke weed every day or some sort. Remember I came and spoke about that, and I wanted to find some other clip about it, and I couldn't find it the other day, so I'm just doing receipt facts check, because I dropped that content already, not remembering that I came on 6 o'clock and not remembering that it would be 5 o'clock some people time, because our time nowadays has gone ahead and it's killing everybody, throwing off everybody. So I came and unpacked the story. A lot of you guys weren't on the content, so I came back with some receipt facts. So remember I said to you guys, a lot of black folks are still being locked up for the marijuana. I know that the marijuana is legalized in many states, but it's not federally legalized. Not only that, we get to understand that upon the dime and dozen on the black folks, the blood, sweat, and tears on the black folks, activists and all, locked up, deported, still incarcerated, still have charges over the marijuana when other people can have franchise out of the marijuana, businesses out of the marijuana, smoke free out of the marijuana, while the black folks is still being looked upon under marijuana. Remember, the marijuana started in the Latino and the black culture of marijuana. So when we see that black folks don't even have certain percentage of the business of the marijuana, I am going to come back and say fact check right here and right now. Let's get on it. Right here. So as we know, when it comes to the so-called marijuana, guys, look it over here. Hispanic 4.3%, black and 2.4% were Asian. So if you really look at it, people, black people are lacking the business of the good old so-called marijuana that you guys smoke, if you smoke. All right? Remember then there was a situation where we had drug and war on drugs in the black community. So because of the lack of resources and the capital for these entrepreneurship, the black folks are lacking, lack of the diversity in the industry. A lot of people are not getting any way out of the marijuana business. So I had to come and shout that, because the other day when I spoke about it, I couldn't bring everything else across because I never had most of the resources. All right. And I was basically just coming to try the live out again. All right. From there as well, let me see if I could see this clearly. Right here, again, guys, as you can see right here that you're looking at, as a black man who grew up in Orange in the 1980s and witnessed the effects of war on drugs, I came and brought out that clip already where the CIA allegedly brought the crack cocaine in the black community. Look up your research. I don't want to get a copyright strike, because I did get a copyright strike of coming to inform you guys about that. So we're going to leave that alone. Do your own research. So when you look at it, guys, like I said, lots of black folks don't own the marijuana anywhere. All right? And if you really look at it again, Snoop Doggy Dogg wanted the NBA industry to kind of lenient on the smoking when it comes to the NBA players. So all of this stem from the Snoop Doggy Dogg stuff that I dropped a couple days ago. All right, guys? So I'm just doing facts check. Has nothing really to do with this content. I'm just inserting my receipt as I go. I don't like to talk and don't have receipts, right? Moving on quick and fast. Let's talk about some other things. If I can't find it, then I'm just going to literally and leave it alone. All right? Actually, you know what? I am going to leave it alone. When I come back another day, I can't give you guys everything, right? I won't give you guys everything. Let me wrap up some other things, and we're going to jump off of this and say thank you for stopping by. I got to go, guys. Today's Thursday, but I still got to go, you know. I don't have all day and every day, and I remember I have to pay mind the business that pays me. And remember, at the end of the day, I'm not out here begging and all of these things, so I have to be mindful the timing that I have out here to spend, all right? So I also want to do a facts check. So remember the other day I came and I said to you there was a burning building in Montreal, and the way the buildings then burn, it seems like, say, somebody set the building on fire. Remember I spoke about that? 1 second. Let me go back for a second. Okay, erase this. All right. So remember I came and I unpacked a story in regards of some building was burning like crazy. And I said to you, the way how this building burned, it seems like somebody set the fire, and it seems like somebody's going to go down for this situation. I'm trying to find it. So I'm giving you guys facts check, because the building owner is linked to the fire, and now they charge him with several manslaughter. I know I wasn't lying. I wasn't a fire chief. I wasn't part of the investigation. But the way the fire went in flame, I said, nah, man, somebody has to go down for this one. So let's unpack, receipt, facts, check.
We are aware that they've been waiting for answers for a very long time. We hope that this development will, to some extent, alleviate their suffering.
Major development in the Old Montreal fire that killed 7. After 3 years, almost to the day, Montreal police arrested a suspect in the case, 63-year-old Émile Haïm Benamor, the owner of the building that burned down.
We will never forget the 5 women and 2 men who perished in the fire.
John Star.
Charlie Lacroix, 18 years old, Walid Belkala, 18 years old.
Here's the
Sania
victims.
Khan, 31 years old. Dania Zafar, 31 years old.
My God.
Anne Wu, 31 years old. Nathan Sears, 35 years old. And Camille Maheu, 76 years old.
And I'm going to interject in the investigation. Reason why this man was suspicious because he had another building and the top of the building also burned and 2 persons always end up dead or got hurt. So when you see that right now, when you see that they're on this man like nothing, this is the main reason why. How can you have 2 buildings burning down and the police are not going to be suspicious? We know allegedly for insurance money, but how can you make lives go like this and feel like the police them weren't going to investigate? Obviously will. So that's why now they charge him for manslaughter, guys, because this is not the first building that burned down. This is not the first people them that got hurt. So let's unpack. So that's why I'm coming with my receipts, because when I give you a story, I need to give you guys the outcome. All right? We're real over here, guys. We're doing our work. We're pack.
In illegal short-term rentals.
We're
Police
unpack
say
when
the
we come about.
investigation took time due to the complexity of the case.
Yep.
2 separate criminal investigations are being conducted by the SPBM.
The first investigation, led by our major crime section, focuses on the intentional setting of the fire.
Yep. The wicked. So he set the fire and everything, guys. I don't need to get into it. I am just gonna just mouth it. He set the fire and go on with himself, arson and stuff like that. They charge him with manslaughter and stuff like that. So I just had to come and tell you guys that story quite so. So I'm not going to drag out the story. I got to go. 7:46 my time. Time is the essence. Time waits for no one. By the time you look, it's time for me to clock in. Because we got to clock under that, you know, people. At the end of the day, it's just life and that's how it is. So guys, thank you for stopping by. Thursday, as always, man. Can't wait till freaking weekend. I can't wait for the weekend, guys. So at the end of the day, guys, don't forget to like and share and subscribe, okay? And don't forget at the end of the day, turn on your notification bell so when I come live, you're the first or second or third to know that I'm alive and well in life and live as in the content I'm ready to unpack. Okay, guys? Peace and love until peace and love until we meet again. Happy Thursday. Bye.